Hi guys, it's Beth. Welcome back to my channel. Today is time for the 10 on the 10th collab, which is hosted by Kim over at Metal Scrap and Chick here on YouTube. And this is a collaboration that encourages us to make some Christmas cards each month throughout the year, so that by the time Christmas comes, we have all the cards we need to, send out for the holidays. And it keeps us, the main point is to try and keep you a little bit less stressed, or make you a little less stressed once the holiday season comes. And this month I have used the classic vintage pad from Craft Smart that I have been working on using up this month in December. And I've made more than 10 cards, but I was just trying to use up some of the cut aparts that were left in the pad that I hadn't used and use up some of the scraps. So a lot of these used up the cut aparts, and then I did bring in some stamps to maybe help embellish. And I did do a lot of inking on these. Most of them are the walnut stain, and then I may have used another one, but I'm not sure, but most of them were inked up with the walnut stain, just to kind of especially on this one, to kind of help it stand out from the background. This one's one of my favorites. I love that Santa image. So I was just trying to use up some of the pieces I had left, and then most of my cards that I've made through 10 on the 10th are going to be donated to my father's nursing home. So they're not going to be mailed. And I don't know what I did. I don't know what I had made before, but I had a bunch of pieces in my stash of craft cardstock. It's like nice heavy duty craft cardstock, and the pieces were about 4 3/4. Well, so that would have been what, 9.5 by. Or 4 3/4 and by 4 1/4. So that would have been 8.5. 8.5 by 4 3/4. So I think maybe is when I was making some 4 by 6 cards, or 5 by 7. I'm not sure. I was making some bigger cards for some other projects, and I had these pieces left over, and decided to go ahead and make some smaller cards out of them. So they're not really square, but they're just shorter than an A2, maybe by half an inch. So anyway, used up the cardstock I had left, made some smaller card bases, and then used up some of the paper and cut aparts again. And so I pulled in a lot of the tear strip on the top of the pad was a solid color, so I ended up using that in a lot of different places throughout these as well. And then this was an image that I had printed out from my silhouette. So then there were a couple of scene pages in this pad. And then this one was kind of like a winter village, and then there's unfortunately the sleigh, and I got the back of the sleigh was the only part I got on this particular piece. But I decided to play up the snowy aspect of the village, and instead of I don't have I don't have the snow pin, and instead of just doing Wink of Stella, I decided to play with some of the mixed media stuff that I have in my stash that I've not played with. So this is Iridescent Glaze, and it's from Vicky Bouton, and I had never used it before, and so I decided to try it out. And it's just kind of like a paste. And I picked this up at Tuesday morning sometime this year, I think, and thought, oh, this would be a good chance, to pick up some mixed media stuff and maybe dabble in some mixed media, learn some techniques. Anyway, so I brought it in, and I just applied a little bit on the trees and on the roofs and a little bit on the snow over here, and then let it dry really good to create kind of more of a shimmery, snowy scene. So I did that on both of these. And I don't remember if I had put it on the card before I added it. I think I did, because the paper from the pad was a nice weight, but it wasn't like super thick. So I think I put it on the card before I put the glaze on, just because I didn't want it to warp the paper too bad. So these were the cards that I had this month. There's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 cards this month. So I had 17 this month, and then I had 152 that I had done through November. So that's a total of 169 cards. And if you divide that by 12 months, that's averaging like 14 cards a month. So pretty good. And like I said, I need 150 cards to donate to my dad's nursing home. And so that's totally covered, my nursing home need. And then I have some left over that I can either send out to some friends or donate to Cards for Soldiers, or I can hold on to them for next year. But, 14 cards a month, that's not a whole lot. Even if you did 10 cards a month, you would have 120. Or if you stopped in November, you'd have 110. So I don't know how many cards most people need, but I'm sure 100 and some odd cards would cover most people's needs. But anyway, those are my cards for the month, and this is all of my 10 on the 10th cards for the year. There is a list of collaborators down in the description box below who have also been making cards throughout the year. So please go check out their cards for this month as well. And I just wanted to say a huge thank you to Kim for hosting this year, for opening it up, to an official collaboration. And it's an awesome idea, and definitely a great way to get cards made in advance of the holiday season so that they are ready to send out. So now my cards for the nursing home are already made, and now it's just a matter of writing in all of them. So hopefully you guys got some inspiration from this collaboration this year and maybe played along and made some of your own Christmas cards throughout the year. But thank you guys so much for your time today, and I hope you all have a very crafty day.